Good morning, everybody. It's the start of a beautiful day. It's quite early in the morning. It's the start of a frugal work day for me. I always get up a little bit earlier and take the dog for a walk. That means I get my steps in. I get a bit of exercise for free. Some people get up early and go to the gym, but that costs money. So I've got a dog, so I get up and I do a few miles walking. If it is raining, I will put my waterproofs on. I'm bobbing about because I have got a very excited dog on the end of a lead here. She always gets excited. She doesn't mind the early mornings, although she does go back to bed when we get home. So I'm off to work today. I've actually got a double shift today. I'm doing some overtime because one of my colleagues is ill. So it's going to be an incredibly long day. But I'm starting it off with a walk. So that'll get me going and it'll keep me fit and active and for free. I don't have to pay for the gym. If I was feeling more energetic, I could run with the dog this morning, but I'm not. And because I've got such a long day, we're just having a nice gentle stroll for a couple of miles down our little lanes, and then we'll go back and have a cuppa before we get ready for work. The mountains are looking a little bit cloudy and grey this morning, but I'm sure that the sun will break through later and they will look glorious. I'm back home now and I've just made myself a hot drink. I don't stop off on the way and buy takeaway drinks or anything like that. They are so expensive. They're nearly £4 a time. I have just allowed an extra 10 minutes to have a drink before I go. So I'm going to have a sit down after my walk, have my hot drink, get my stuff together before I go. If I don't finish that, I have got one of these. It's looking a bit old and beaten up, but this is my old travel mug and I could just pour that in there, take it to work, don't have to stop and buy any drinks on the way. That can save you a lot of money. Back in the day, we never used to be buying takeaway drinks. Everybody used to just have a cup of tea or coffee at home before they set off for work, school or whatever. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm having my hot drink there. The other thing I'm doing is I'm taking my own lunch. I won't be buying lunch at work or stopping on the way to get meal deals or anything like that. I am on a long shift, as I said earlier, so I have got this massive pot of overnight oats which I've made up, which is oats in there, some sugars, a little drop of soy milk, some water and some frozen fruit on the top. That is a nice big container full. That will be my breakfast in a few hours time. And then for my breaks, I've got some of these grapes. I've also got some cucumber and a bit of dressing in there. It's like a balsamic vinaigrette dressing. Yesterday would have been a really good day to show you, which is what made me think to show you today, but I've got different stuff. I actually had leftovers from my lunch yesterday. I had some new potatoes that I'd cooked the day before and had with cauliflower and vegetables and gravy, and I'd saved some of the potatoes and I had them with cucumber and lettuce and the balsamic vinaigrette dressing, and I was sat in the staff room eating it thinking this would be a really good thing to show because it saves you a lot of money using up leftovers for lunches and taking your own lunches. But I've eaten all those now, and I was on a strange shift yesterday and I hadn't cooked that, so this is what I've got today. I've also got this today, which my daughter had gone off to pick her boyfriend up from the station, and they'd called into a big supermarket and they said they had the plant-based sausage rolls, the pucker ones, which I really like. I don't get them very often, and she bought me one, which I was very excited about, and I've saved it to take to work today. So I've got this, and I've got some crisps as well, which I haven't got here, but I've got a big packet of crisps as well, which sounds like a lot, but I'm on a double shift, so I will be munching this so I don't have to buy any food or anything like that. And I'm also taking my own tea bags in my little handy dandy thing I got for Christmas. It's just a little container to keep tea bags in, and I like fruit tea bags. These I got a while ago. I don't know why my camera keeps steaming up. Hang on, I'll just clean the lens. Just wait a minute. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. I got these a little while ago in the cupboard, and I thought they need using up. So this is the flavour I'm taking to work. It's a blackberry and blueberry. The own brands are so much cheaper than the branded ones, and I just put a few tea bags in here, my little thing. And we do have access to a kettle. They do have normal tea and coffee at work, which I could drink, but I don't drink that sort of thing. But if you do and they've got it at work, why pay £4 a time when you can just have a free one? And I've also got a big bottle of squash because it gets quite warmer as well. And yeah, so that is what I'm taking. So I won't be spending any money on food today. Just to quickly show you, I've got a little insulated cool bag here. I haven't arranged them in properly because I was just going to show you. And I've got a ice block, which I put in there to keep my food cool. And don't forget to take your utensils so you can eat your things. Right, I better get my drink drunk and get ready for work. I'm just setting off to work now. It's a little bit dark here, but I'm under the trees. But I'm just heading off to work now. I am driving. It's that little bit too far to walk. I would literally, if I walk to work and walking the dog, I would literally be getting up in the middle of the night. It just wouldn't make sense. So I do drive. I do and try and double up anything. So say I had to go to the post office, or if I was meeting a friend, I would try and do that before or after work, depending on my shift, to sort of only use one trip of fuel in the car. When I was in my last job, I did sometimes walk or bike, mainly walk. That used to take me about an hour, and that was more doable. And the times, I started at a different time. But even when I was doing the really early shifts there, I would sometimes walk down. It sort of worked out better, and it was a bit closer. This is a few more miles away. So I did used to do a bit of walking then to cut down on the fuel. Sometimes my husband and I would be sharing a vehicle as well. So I did quite a lot of walking in my last job. In the dry weather, you could cut across the fields and there were shortcuts and stuff. Now that I've changed jobs, I'm a little bit further away. I do have to take the vehicle, but I do try and double up on the trip so that I don't do multiple trips. As I say, if I've got to double up picking up shopping, or if I meet my friend for a run or anything, I try and do it on the same day that I'm working, either before or after my shifts. Years ago, when I was a student, when I was a lot younger, in my holidays, when I lived with my dad, I had a job 8 miles away. I worked at a local pub 8 miles away, and I would bike it then. Back in the day, I was a bit younger then, and I'd bike there, bike back, so I was doing 16 miles a day. I used to get wet because it rained a lot, and they even put me up a little washing line at the pub. I used to hang my clothes up to dry, and I used to have a change of clothes and all that sort of stuff. Back in the day with this old bike of mine, no gears on it. My dad had found it in a skip where someone had got rid of it because it had loads of punctures, and he mended all the punctures for me, adjusted the brakes, and off I went. If there was a hill, you just sort of got off and pushed or stood up on your pedals. There was no gears and no bike helmets either. It was a little bit of a lonely route, though. It was a bit sort of scary in places. But yeah, I did that for a few years in the holidays. But now I am driving. It is a little bit too far for me, so I'll be doing that. The other thing I was going to say that will save you loads of money at work is if there's an option of a uniform, I would wear it. I used to work in a chip shop, and we were all given t-shirts with the name of the chip shop on, and I used to wear mine religiously because why would you ruin your own clothes? And yeah, I didn't see a problem with it, but a lot of the youngsters seemed very reluctant to wear stuff that wasn't their own clothes. And I'm thinking, gosh, you know, they would get greasy and everything, and, you know, everyday sort of wear and tear. I would certainly say if you have the chance of a uniform, it's free clothes, wear them. Trash somebody else's stuff, not your own, basically. Besides, I always think it looks smarter in a job. And obviously, some places they even force it and you have to wear a uniform. My new job now, when I get to work, I have to change and I have to wear the overall and everything. I don't mind that. It protects your clothes. It keeps my own clothes better for longer. And yeah, I can't see a problem with it. And I certainly think it saves you a lot of money. Break time. It's such a sunny afternoon. I'm sitting outside to enjoy my lunch. So I've got a few crisps there. I've got my cucumber and dip. I'm just going to have half the sausage on. I'm going to save half for later on because I'm doing such a long day today. And I've got some squash. So I'm going nowhere near the canteen, nowhere near the vending machines, anything like that. I haven't spent any money, and I'm going to sit in the sunshine now and enjoy my break. I am so tired. My really long day is nearly over, but before I go home, as you can tell by my wet hair, I've just had a shower. That is another really good money saving tip. If you have the use of facilities, make the most of them. We have cloakrooms here at work, obviously toilets and also showers, so a lot of us take advantage of that fact now, use somebody else's hot water and heating and electricity with the lights and whatever, and we have a shower before we go home. So that's what I've done. Make the most of facilities. If you go into the gym, instead of showering when you get home, shower at the gym. Use their facilities. If you're paying a lot of money for monthly fees, you get what you can for it, things like that. So wherever you can, make the most of the facilities on offer. Don't be frightened of it and don't feel bad. They're there for a reason. They're there for you. Like, I've worked really hard today. It's been lovely to have a nice hot shower. I don't feel guilty about using their showers. That's what they're there for. They're here for the workers. So that's what I've done. But I'm really looking forward to going home now to put my feet up with a good book. It's the end of a very busy frugal day today, and I'm going to finish the day by curling up with a good book, a good free book. I'm busy reading this one at the moment, Nella Lass War. This was a gift. I got given this for Christmas, and I've had so many books to read. I'm a bit behind on reading my books. I'm reading that now. So that is lovely. And then I've also got these two books which were free at work in the staff room. When people have finished with books, they bring them in and leave them there for people to just take. So if anybody has a clear out of books, they just bring them in, put them in the staff room, and we can just take what we want. And there was these here. There was the Thursday Murder Club. This is Richard Osman, and also The Man Who Died Twice, again Richard Osman. I borrowed these off my daughter last year and read them, really enjoyed them, and I saw them and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind reading those again, because I did enjoy reading them. And I always like to read some books twice, because I think the first time I just sort of read it quite quickly through because I want to see what happens, and then I like to read it again a bit more slowly. So I thought, oh, as they were there for free, I would take those and read them again, and then I need to have a clear out of my books and see what I can take in for other people to read. So I've got those as well, and as I say, I'm going to settle down now and read a little bit of this before I settle down and go to sleep, because it's been a very busy but a very frugal day.